Hey everybody, so we had a cold front run in the other day. We'll probably show you some of those other videos. We went out, it was a bad idea, conditions were rough. We were looking at 15-20 mile an hour winds, and it was just no fish, generally unpleasant. But then as soon as the cold front left, now we have just a glorious Florida Keys day. It's beautiful, flat, great visibility underwater. And wasn't planning on coming out today, but I couldn't resist. Gotta see what we can make up for after the last debacle of going out in bad weather. So here we are. I'm gonna just do a little pedaling, about 15-20 minutes of pedaling out from the city center to one of the closest little snapper holes that I know of, and see what we can see. And of course, starting with bait. Gotta find those pilchards. So, figured it'd be a good time for a little confession hour, story time. I've got a few minutes here until I get to my first bait spot, a little bit of about 5 minutes worth of pedaling. So I figured that I could share some of my mishaps, because I'm not really going to be able to help you out too much with super fishing skills, but I guess we learn by making mistakes, and I'm racking them up fast. So kind of a funny little story here. My friend told me, you know, he's like, oh, you know, to find snapper, the mangrove snapper, you got to find, or any kind of snapper, you got to find a snapper hole. So he said it and assumed I knew what was going on there, so without any kind of further detail or explanation. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I got to find a snapper hole, like kind of I'm thinking volcano size round opening that has depth near shallow. So like, you know, it's reasonable for me to, I think it's reasonable, he doesn't think it's reasonable, but I thought it was reasonable to think it was just having high amount of, like, an area with deep water next to the shallow water, kind of like a volcano size circle, like a pocket or a pock mark underwater. And so he didn't explain any further. So I spent weeks kind of scouring the satellite imagery, looking at the underwater topography, so to speak, of in the area, searching for the snapper holes, finding, and as off as I was, lo and behold, actually found one. There happens to be what was like a mining pit, apparently. That's what I've been told, a mining pit where they were excavating stuff, and then it filled with water at some point, and basically fit the exact description, the wrong description of what I was looking for. So when I explained it to him, I was like, man, it's really hard to find these snapper holes. I mean, I was only able to find one in this, you know, over this period of time. And he was like, really? Like, what? You know, they must be hidden. The people must hide them. You know, they keep them secret. That's got to be what it is. And then when I finally described it, he's like, oh, dude, you're so off. You're so off. And then he pointed to, ooh, there's a bunch of snapper there. Then he pointed to, you know, kind of the curb type of scenario where there was a, you know, the sewer, the opening for the sewer water to go. And he's like, snapper hole. That's it. That's all that's necessary. And that's when I finally got it. But I was really off. And I tell you, man, if nobody would have told me, or if we wouldn't have discovered that, I would have been searching for volcano-sized pock marks, underwater pock marks for years. So a little bit of a story. I'm coming up to the first bait spot here, and hoping to find the school of pilchards, because the barracuda are out like crazy, which would be fun if I had my Castmaster. But if you've been watching the channel, I lost my rod and the Castmaster yesterday. Not good. It was a demoralizing event. And But if I can find some pilchards, I can pull some snapper out and definitely bend the rod, because it is just beautiful conditions today. So on that note, I'll catch you back in a moment. Lost him. All right, made it to the hole. Put some pilchards on and see if we can't get pull some of these big monsters out from the depths. This is definitely a location that pilchards shouldn't be. They're gonna look pretty tasty, I hope. We already went ahead and got us some nice live bait. Took a while, finally got there. Through the nose. I just got a little simple rig. I'll explain it another time, but not here for rigs. Drift into the hole. Let them swim about a bit and see if anybody takes the bait. Probably some CUDA action behind me. I can't resist. Gotta throw this guy out there. I am itching for a hit after the bad weather days. Mr. Pilchard, look tasty. Feel the pitch. He's running. Oh. And there we have it. Oh. Grunt. Take it as a first. Pilchard stayed on the hook. Missing one eye, but still going. There's just a ton of activity. I used to fish this place from the shore here, and all I'd pretty much do would hook bottom, but it would drive me crazy because I would see all the activity. Oh! Cuda? Whatever it is.
He made off with lunch.
Activity, I love it. Same setup, hook the nose. Can't get past this CUDA action. Snappers are. Just letting it drift. So you guys will have to tell me because, you know, uh-oh. I got a bite to strip me. I got stripped. Yep.
There goes another one.
So I was thinking you guys will have to tell me if you want. I'll find out, you know, as we progress, whether you actually want like fishing tips, what I'm doing and all of that, or stories or what. Just want to be out here with me and think about going live streaming from here, take questions. But I'm not the guy. You know, there's a lot of people that are better fishermen than me. Really what I wanted to do was start from the beginning, you know, from a total green pea noob. You can kind of go with me and we can improve together. That was kind of my plan, because I don't pretend to be the super expert, learning as I go. I'm trying to cast just off the shelf. Just off the drop off. There's just a ton of barracuda to get through. This guy to... Oh, yeah, got somebody. Oh. Awesome. Oh. That's a good example. Lost the hook. I'm gonna pause it for a minute, put a hook back on, palom or not, see if I can't get it to hold better. So that's gonna do it for the day. Out of time. So time running out of pilchards. Got a couple bites, but I couldn't get anything past the wolves. But the barracuda were out in force today. But lovely day all in all. And it looks like another cold front, storm front's going to be coming in. But always got to take advantage of these beautiful days while we can. So I don't know. So I didn't know the weeds were covering up a lot of the mangroves today. So it was about 4 or 5 feet worth of weed off the mangrove, so I didn't know how to get it. I don't know if the snapper were still under there or off in the flats. So maybe you guys know if you got any tips. I tried to go off the mangroves 30-40 yards or whatnot, but it wasn't happening out there. My hole couldn't get past the barracuda in the fishing hole or the snapper hole. So I don't know, put in the comments if you want. Yeah, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear your advice, because I need to improve, man. Gotta bend the rod. I want to catch more fish. So should I went mangroves, or should I went flats, or offshore, for all you offshore snobs? All right, till next time. Talk to you soon. Bloody hell, this is a really long paddle. I need to get a motor. Whew. It's always a little tougher going back than going out. Heavy breathing. Paddle, 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 paddle. Still pedaling. It's like Lance Armstrong, just without the performance enhancing drugs. Or the speed, or the money. Damn, at least it's beautiful out here. Almost home.